No, really, why can't America just build enough houses to get us out of this housing crisis, this housing shortage, and this 5 million, 4 million, whatever we're short homes that we need to bring on the market, bring into existence so we can fill the homes, bring down housing prices, make it more affordable. But honestly, do you really think that is ever going to happen? Because you know why? Let me tell you why the US will never and cannot build enough homes fast enough. And hey, if you didn't know anything about me, my name is Kenny Simpson. Thanks for watching. I've been helping clients. I've helped over 5,000 clients buy and refinance one to four unit properties, funded billions of dollars of loans. So if I can help you, please let me know. I created this channel. I do a lot of this content for free. I want to help you out. I want to make sure you're confident, you're comfortable making your decisions. I want to make sure you're not getting bullshit out there. I want to make sure you're getting the real, true facts and data. And we are here to help you. A little bit of entertainment, a lot of education, because look, you need to make sure you're educated, you're enlightened, you're confident, comfortable. So when you go buy a home, if you're refining your home, whatever you're doing, buying an investment property, you have the knowledge, you have the confidence. So you're making moves, you're making the right moves, and you're with the right team. But if I can help you at all, please reach out. But also, hey, share this video with somebody, like, subscribe. I'd love to see some comments below. But let's continue back to the video. There's this big debate going on right now, right? We've got, it doesn't matter who you want elected, Kamala, Trump, whoever's in, it's always talking about housing. They're talking about how they're going to help the first-time home buyer, how they're going to drop rates, how they're going to build more housing, how they're going to get rents down, how they're going to build more affordable units for rent, right? How they're going to cap rents. All this stuff goes on. And you notice that nothing ever gets done because the gridlock, the red tape, the local, the state. You got to understand, when you go into one state, you not only have the state, then you have the local and the county and the state and the city, all these. Basically, you got to get through all the red hoops and the red tape and all this. This is why we can never build enough houses. And on top of that, they say we have 5 million houses short. But what if I said we have 20, 30 million houses short? Why? Because the other houses that are on the market or could go on the market are dilapidated, they're old, they're disgusting, they have health and safety, and nobody would ever want to buy them, nor would ever live in them. So what do we do here? We're faced with this uncertainty, not know what to do, not know how to fix the problem. But let's dive into more of the problem to see why we cannot fix it, and maybe we have a solution by the end of this video. Okay, did you know that the U.S. housing is facing a shortage of 4.5 million homes. And that figure is from 2021. So it's just getting worse, folks. And why is that? Let me take us to pause here and let me take you back for a quick moment. The real reason why we're facing this shortage is because when we had the housing boom in 05, 6, 7, and then we had the collapse in 08, we really did not build for 5 or 6 years. And when we started building, builders got so hurt, so bankrupt, so whacked. Same with the banks and lenders. They're so hesitant now to build and move forward. They're never going to overbuild like they did before. They're never going to oversupply. Why? Because they want to make money. They want to stay in business. They don't want to go bankrupt. And they learn their lesson from before. And that's why they'll slowly release their product. They'll slowly build their product. And they'll make sure that if they have supply, that there is sure enough demand to meet their supply and gobble up all these homes that they build. Look, there's several factors of why housing is not affordable, housing cannot be built, and why we're just not able to basically build these 5 million homes that are needed. And today, what are some of the biggest factors that are contributing to this delay, this red tape, this process that will never get done? Well, let's jump into a few of them. Number one, for sure, is rising material cost. Let's just take insurance, for example. If you heard about why insurance has gone up so much, they said to fix something on a home prior to the pandemic to now, it's 31% more to fix something. So that means if you're building a house, it's at least 31, if not more percent more to build a house today than it was years ago. And on top of that, the land costs were more. And on top of that, the city fees and the labor and all that. So on top of 31% more, what about buying the land? That's probably 31, 50% more. So it's just gotten out of control with the labor, material, the insurance, the cost just to get the plans and permits done. It is ridiculous. One of the worst and ongoing, especially a place like here in San Diego, That's one of the major problems of why we cannot build enough. It's the red tape. It's the regulation. It's the process. It's the time. It's the money. It's the energy. Nobody wants to go through the process. Nobody wants to deal with it. And so what you do is you have people come in and try to make it happen, and they'll fight, and they'll argue, and they'll scream. And maybe they'll do a development, but eventually they just go, I'm not going to come into a place like California or other places around the country. Why? Because it's too damn hard. It's too damn complicated. There's too much red tape. There's just too much to the process, and nobody can streamline. So that is one of the biggest problems we face too in a place like California or San Diego, where we just cannot build enough. It just cannot make it streamlined enough and get rid of the red tape. It's always been a problem. To build a house here in some parts of San Diego, it literally takes 4 to 5 years at a minimum to build a house because of all the red tape and all the process. And just to get the plans and permits, a part of that could be 2 to 3 years. Isn't that insane? And the rest to develop. So on top of cost, on top of red tape and the process, what else could be holding up building? What is such a big deal? Why do we have these delays? Well, it's population growth, right? Number one, we have population growth, but the other thing you got to think about is we have immigration growth as well. Just let alone 10 million new people apparently came in through across the board. They have to have a place to rent, stay, live. I don't care if they're going in a hotel, they're going in a motel, they're going in a house, they're going in a unit, they're going in an apartment building, wherever they're going, those bodies need to go somewhere. And on top of that, our population, take a look at these numbers. Our population has outpaced construction of new units. In 2022, the number of families in the U.S. increased by 1.8 million while only building 1.4 million houses, indicating a significant downfall. In 2023, the U.S. saw 1.67 million household formations, resulting in 17.2 million household formations between 2012 and 2013. In this time period, 14.7 million housing units were started and 13.4 million were completed. When the population is growing and we're not keeping up with demand, that's one thing. When immigration is coming through and growing, that's another thing. And the other thing I'm going to give you is a couple other thoughts on this. Number one, we're living longer. People are locked into those low rates and they're not moving. And on top of that, the people that live longer, they're staying in their homes. They're not selling. They're not moving. They're not going into the retirement home. This is more and more houses that's not hitting the market. And on top of it, if you inherit a house or you locked in a low rate, you might just turn that house into an investment property, which will never hit the market for sale. They're getting more and more screwed because there's just more obstacles that not just they have to go through, but with the low rate lock-in effect and people aging longer and immigration and population and growing and the red tape and the cost of materials, it's just not favorable for people to build houses or get houses to the market. So first-time home buyers have a chance and a place to buy and a place they call home. So what would be another factor? What do you think another factor would be? Think about it. We went through cost, we went through red tape, we went through population growth. One thing else, what's a major component when it comes to buying real estate, investing in real estate, or building real estate? If you said cost, if you said rates, you are absolutely right. Look, that's why you're seeing development die. Just take multifamily. Multifamily is going to build 600,000 units this year. Then they'll go to 400 and 200 and 200. Why? Because it makes no sense. The cost of land, the kind of mortgage, the kind of, construction loan they can get, and the cost to build it and all that, it makes no sense. So people are stalling projects, sitting on land. Same thing with houses. To go acquire land, it costs money. To go acquire and hold it on a bridge loan or get financing, it costs 3 times the amount to hold the debt. To go build a house, it's going to cost you 3 times more. So it's just more expensive. It's the land's more expensive. The rates are more expensive. The cost to get a loan is more expensive. It's not as easy. The leverage could be harder. It's just a much more difficult time in the market and the cycle right now to build homes, build apartment buildings, and create housing for us to try to get us out of this $5 million hole we're in. Look, housing's in a recession. I mean, what? It is. Just because it's been going up doesn't mean it's not in a recession. Let me explain to you why. Buyer demand is down because of affordability and rates, right? And then now you have an uncertainty coming with the election that's gearing us. Who's going to win? That determines people's like, I'm just going to hold, and I think rates are going to go lower, so I'll just hold. But while we're in the real recession, it's coming off of 2021, 2022. 2021, we had the lowest home sales ever. 22 came higher. But right now, as I shoot this video, we only have 700,000 homes in the market. We should have a couple million homes in the market. Take a place like San Diego. We have 5,000 listings for 3 million people. This is insane. So some of the markets are flipped upside down. There's no inventory. There's no sales. We're in a recession. People that are in the real estate business are getting crushed. If you're in a commercial business, my gosh, it's a Great Depression. So it's very, very challenging to think about it. You want to go build and motivate and do things. Well, we got to make it easier, folks. We got to get the rates down. We got to get the affordability back up, right? We got to make it more cost effective. We got to incentivize these builders. We got to, as a nation, as the government, we got to make things happen. But in order to do that, we all would have to work together. And that would be like federal, state, local, all that. But think about that. Think about the challenges behind that for a second. Could that even happen? So here's some of the answers of why we just cannot build homes fast enough in the US and why it's not changing anytime soon. Whether a politician comes in or rates come down, it's going to take a lot of effort and time. It's so hard to get things done. It's hard enough when rates were low just to get enough homes built as it is. And with the mass immigration coming in and population growing and consumers moving around to more urban areas and moving out of the Midwest or suburbans, whatever's happening, there's just not enough. And like I told you, the lack of good housing on top of it, even the housing stock that's here, it's old, outdated, it needs to be repaired. We need to incentivize home flippers or investors to get out there, encourage them to build. So will we see that? I just don't know. So here's 3 things that we can think about when we're talking about affordable housing and maybe some action plans that you can do or what we can do as a country to solve them. Number 1, we got to solve the affordability crisis. Number 2, the economic mobility. We got to build and make homes more affordable for certain people in certain parts of this country. Because look, we don't all live on the coast in California. We don't all live on the beach in Miami. We don't all live in, Manhattan and New York, right? We don't all live in San Francisco. We don't all live in Malibu or LA. Like there's other places we have to make it more affordable. And also, community development. We need to get together as communities. We need to raise awareness. We need to push for affordable housing, push for affordable housing for long-term, for renters, for home buyers. We need to help people out, but we have to come together with this. We cannot be divided, and it's going to take a massive effort to make this happen. We also can promote home ownership through taxes and first-time home buyers. And I know whether it's Trump or Harris, or whoever's going to be elected, they're going to have to help the first-time home buyer. They're going to have to get rates down. They're going to have to help affordability. Maybe they can spark to try to get more housing if they can. Maybe there's some incentives for first-time home buyers. Whatever it is, we need to incentivize, because being a homeowner is much more at the end of your life. At the end of the age, you're going to have a bigger net worth, and you're going to tap in that equity or that home you have that can be utilized as an asset. But at the end of the day, also, you're going to have to reform zoning laws, and you're going to have to address certain economic factors to make all this happen. Because if you cannot do any of these things, nothing will work. Everything will stay the same. But actually, if we continue down this path, we cannot get rates down, affordability up, and build more. We're just going to continue to have the haves and the have-nots, and you're going to keep dividing more and more division in this country, with more and more, same with the real estate market, of values going up, because we do not have enough supply to meet the demand. What can we do as a country? How can we make this happen? It's very simple. We have to focus on affordability. We have to focus on interest rates. We have to focus on the red tape, the process of getting homes approved faster. We also have to educate the homeowner, the whole United States, the local, the federal. We have to educate them why this is important and why we must do this now. And last but not least, in order to do this, we got to vote. We got to come together. We have to make this happen. This will just not happen on its own. So if you have a voice, if you're a homeowner, if you believe in this, you got to reach out. You got to vote. How you vote on your nationally is one thing, but how you vote in your community is one thing, to make sure you're voting for people that are pro housing or pro more inventory and, helping build this nest egg back up, which is what we need. Because if not, it's just going to get worse and worse for the first-time home buyer, worse and worse for the step-up buyer. And if rates don't come down, it's just going to get worse and worse for the overall nationally, because we will just not be able to get people into homes because of affordability. No matter what you do, incentives and things like that, if they can't afford the rate, can't afford the home, they're just not going to buy it. But look, if you're a first-time home buyer, don't be discouraged, because this article was talking about, basically this video was talking about how we cannot fix the problem. But let me tell you a simple solution. If you're a home buyer and you want to buy, here's four things that you should do immediately so you can buy. Because I work with first-time home buyers, they're buying all the time. They're taking advantage of the opportunity. They're not going to wait. They're not going to wait for more supplies. They're not going to wait for more affordability. They're not going to wait for rates to go down because they know it's just going to keep pushing housing higher. Every economic person out there, besides some markets, believes that real estate's going to continue to go up. That if you're a renter, you're going to have, way less net worth and way less opportunity because you will not have equity to tap into that if you're buying in your 30s and when you're 60 and 70, you're going to have that free and clear house or that turns into investment property. You can pass that along to your kids. So buying is a way to build wealth. And we've seen it over and over, time and time again, year after year. So number one, know your budget. Number two, stay flexible. Number three, keep an eye out, meaning stay informed, stay educated, stay tuned to like someone like me, my channel, or other people in the business. And number four, never give up, work with a great team, and you can have success in buying real estate. And look, thank you for watching. If you'd like to watch more videos like this, if you want to learn more about the housing market, want to learn about qualifying for a home, if you want to chat, please check out my channel, subscribe to it, like it. Also, go check me out on Instagram as well, Kenny B. Simpson. Go follow me. We focus on educating the buyer, educating you on what's going on in housing, try to make sense of the economy, the crazy news out there. And also, we want to give you the facts, give you the data, and make sure you're confident and you're comfortable making a decision on your ability to go buy a home.